Welcome back, YouTube. The last time we left off, we were putting in the HDMI VGA controller board into the cabinet so that we can get video play out of the stock monitor on here. And everything worked out fine when we tested it with the Raspberry Pi that I had to test with. So today we're going to work on the control panel, the controller panel, and we're going to swap out. We're going to take out the original stock buttons and swap them out with new ones and take it from there. So everything's still unscrewed on the front panel. Okay, this is unscrewed. So all we have to do is take this part out once you have disconnected, and we're going to remove this casing right here, this bottom casing on the control panel, and we're going to work on removing the stock buttons and the stock joysticks. Push this aside for now, because we're also going to work on, hopefully later on today, with the amplifier and the wiring. Okay, let's get this here so we can see it visually. Hopefully I can. Okay, so I repositioned the camera and myself a little here so I could give you a better angle of what I'm doing. We're going to remove the 6 screws, okay, that hold this casing in place. Okay, you got 3 in the front and you got 3 in the back. Alright, it's just the bottom shell for the controller panel. We're going to change out the stock buttons, like I said, and the stock controls. The on and off switch and the volume switch are no longer needed in this modification, so we're going to turn these into sections for new buttons. ETA Prime put them on the side here where I did like them at first, but when I realized there's really no need for these switches at all, so might as well take them out and put the buttons there and just leave this area nice and clean. So let's begin with that. Let's take that apart. All you need is a Phillips screwdriver. Most of the items you need for this mod is simple. All you gotta do is search on YouTube, or mostly YouTube, and look up ARCADE1UP modifications. And I gotten all my information from a lot of other YouTubers. Okay, now this tray, you could save it. I usually save mine at the bottom of the arcade cabinet, put all my stuff in there. We're going to throw in the screws in here for now and put it aside. Okay, now from the inside you see these are the stock material. We're going to be changing out the speaker. We're going to be removing this controller board. We no longer need this anymore. We're going to be removing the stock buttons. And to begin, what you want to do is you want to remove these, I guess, tapes they did, so that you could do each one individually. Okay. Move that out the way. Now, I've come up with this same situation in this cabinet as well as my last one that I did for my grandson. This cabinet right here, by the way, I'm doing it for my daughter. She's into video games as well, and she wanted a cabinet done for her. So we decided to do one for her as well. Now, like I said, I've come up with this situation that I noticed in the last 2 cabinets. The joysticks are more upgraded than the original cabinet that I did, which was mine. They look like they went with a Sanwa clone joystick, which makes it a little easier to swap it out with the new joysticks, because the plates on the joysticks are the same as the new ones, which makes it easier to line up everything and screw everything right back in, so I don't have to go through the lining up issue and putting things in and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the joysticks first from the board. We don't need to disconnect that from the board yet. There you go. We can leave the wire for the joysticks on the board. Don't have to take those out. We got to disconnect the speaker. And if you notice, I don't know if you can tell from the camera, right there. I'm gonna zoom you in a little. There is some glue residue on some of these items, especially on the controller board to the wiring. They glued everything. They got lightly glued everything. I guess for stability, I don't know. But you don't need that. I'm going to take off the speaker. Get it out the way. Because we are going to be changing out the speaker, like I said. You can use the speaker's magnet to hold the screws in, because we need those original screws for the new speaker. There you go. There's also a felt, like a screen protector on the speaker itself. We're going to save that. We're going to need that later. Put it on the tray there. Now we're going to start off with the, let's start off from, I guess, left to right. And we're going to follow the trays for each button and just disconnect it from the control board here. Alright, so we got those 6 out of the way. Let's do the next 6. Also, we can remove the on and off switch and the volume control switch off the board. There is a little glue on here, like I said, so the pliers do help a little bit to get it off. There you go. Now we want to unscrew the board off. Do one at a time. Oops, bouncing now. There you go. There you go. The board is off. That's the actual board that houses all the buttons. Put that aside. Let's put the screws aside for that. Now we're going to continue with removing the buttons one at a time. These are easy. You don't have to unscrew anything off. You just have to squeeze the 2 tabs. There are like 2 tabs in here, one right there and one on the other side. What you want to do is squeeze those in and push forward at the same time, and boom, pops off like that. So you have your first button off. Continue this all the way around until you get all of them out. There you go. So you got all 6 buttons out. I've left the on and off switch and the volume switch on for now. We're gonna go ahead and remove the ball off the joysticks so that we can get those out next. What we want to do is remove the ball and the dust cover. Put those aside. And the dust cover. Put those aside. And now we go back to the other side and unscrew those controllers. Now pay attention to this part, because it does help. Your connection and what location it's on. So when you put on the new controllers, you could try to duplicate that if possible. If not, remember that the same way you put the control on one side has to be the same on the other. You can't move it in different places just for comfort. It has to be exactly the same position, because when you program the controls, they need to be aligned the same way so that the Raspberry Pi knows what direction you want to hit when you're hitting up, down, left, and right. So let's take the screws off of these, and you notice as well there's glue on these, so try your best to get as much as you can off of that. They even glued the they've even managed to put glue in the screw itself. So what we're gonna need is something spiky to get all that glue off. I'm gonna use my trusty little spike tool, picking tool actually, and get some of that glue off of these screws. Because yes, they managed to put glue inside the screw, which I don't understand why. And all it does is it makes it harder to unscrew them, causing you to strip the screw. You don't want to do that. You want to use these screws to put in the new hardware. I may have to put some heat to this to get this glue off. Like there's some glue in all the screws. Like that's so unnecessary. Come on, ARCADE1UP, why would you do this? I mean, I know you probably don't want us changing anything out because it voids the warranty or whatever, but that is the pleasure of having these toys, that you could fix them up and improve them or modify them to your liking. I mean, let's get it straight. We already brought the thing. It's ours. Some of us might not change anything around and leave it as is, and some of us will, like myself. Everywhere. Let's see if we can try to get that out as best as we can with the little bit of glue we got out of it. Change the Phillips head on my screwdriver. To a little sharper one, so we can try to get in that area. Okay. Just a little pressure, we get them out. And I have to put some heat into each one, just so I can melt the glue off. Look at that. There's mad glue in these things. I don't know why. Let's try to get all of them out as best as we can. Okay, now you see that I unscrewed each one out. Got all the screws out, but they're still in place. So what it is ARCADE1UP glued. Put some glue on these to stay in there. So what we need to do is bang it in. What I did the last time is take my Phillips screwdriver, took out the Phillips head off, left it on the flat piece, and just take a little swig to it, like a little tap. Oops. And it hit the ground. I got it out. You see? They put glue all on that plate so that it stays in there sturdy. I guess they know as a gamer you're gonna abuse that joystick. So they glued it in place. Let's pop off the other one. Try not to drop this one on the floor. That's so easy. Well, guess it's inevitable that it drops down. Nothing got damaged. There you go. There's a little more glue on that one too. Look like they glued that on there really good. Make sure they don't come off so easy as you're playing. But these are still good, even though they hit the floor. They're still good, still usable. I'm gonna put those aside. And gather these screws together. Gonna have to clean those up with some with a lighter just to melt off that glue. I'll put these aside. A little quick side project. Clean those up. Okay, so here's your control panel, completely bare, minus the two switches, the on and off and the volume. These are totally bare. Took everything out, took the speaker out, stock buttons, stock joysticks. Now I went with a set of joysticks My daughter picked out, she wanted red and blue. Red on the player 1 side, blue on the player 2 side. Name of the company is SJ@JX. It's the zero delay USB for the Raspberry Pi. Now, the reason I picked these almost in all my cabinets is because it only comes with one zero delay board. It's a double USB zero delay board, meaning that you can connect 2 players on one board. Okay, this is the double USB, model number CY2121. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. I like these boards. They work just as good as the other ones that are out there, if not better. The reason I picked these is because, like I said, you can connect both players on this one board, giving you one USB cord to your Pi, not having to eat up 2 USB ports for 2 players. So we got the blue and we got the red buttons. Okay. Another reason why I like this setup is when I did my first cabinet and I picked the button setups that were first introduced to me when I started this venture. It was just plain colors. The player 1 and player, let me actually get a player 1 and player 2 button here to show you. On my first controller, on my first cabinet, my set of buttons were not, I don't know, I think the quality was totally different. Okay, they lit up. It had basic colors like red, green, blue, and yellow. This set also comes in 5 other colors. You can also do a mixed color. I will leave a link at the bottom of the video so you guys can check it out. But the most thing I liked about them is that the player 1, player 2 button and the coin buttons, when you press them, they don't turn. They do not rotate. Okay? Once this is screwed into the wood in the position you want it, it stays in that position. Alright? You don't bang it up a whole bunch of times and then later on find your player 1 characters upside down. That's what I like. They don't rotate. They still light up with LEDs. LED connection. The setup is so easy. The diagram is so easy. I'll show you that when we put everything together. And it just, quality is, I don't know, I think the quality is way better. I like it. I like it for those little features. Okay? So we're going to put these aside for now, because we're not going to put these in just yet. We're going to put those in a little bit later. What we want to do is drill out the holes for the player 1, player 2. And I'm going to show you what we're going to use for that. These are the tools that we're going to need for those new holes. That is a step bit tool. You can get it at Harbor Freight. Still a little dirty from my last use. Okay. You can work your way down. What I like to do is a lot of people have not mentioned in the videos, when you start the hole, start from your graphics side first. Okay. I would do a pilot hole first, like a drill a small hole. Only if you're doing it some other area besides this here. We're gonna do the new holes here, so the hole's already there. So all you gotta do is line this up evenly and and go through. But when you're doing a new hole, start with a startup hole, Okay, measure it out. Try to get this circle. Like you can even trace this circle on a piece of paper. Cut it out, put it where you want it to land, and start the centering there. Okay, and then you start with the graphic side first. Go through the graphic side first. You work your way little by little down, and then you go on the other side and you work your way little by little, not all the way through, because you got to remember this board, this wood here, once you crack through it, it starts to break off funny, and you're gonna get nasty cuts and nasty looks, and you don't want that. So you have to take your time and go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'll show you that when I do this side, when I do these buttons, these holes right here, which I'm hoping will come out good, because I'm looking at it here. But I'll show you when I do that, and we'll take it from there. But yes, work your way back and forth. Don't try to go through all the way. You'll make a nasty mess on the other side. If not, if you're going through this side, you'll crack the graphic on this side, and it's just not going to look real nice and neat, and you don't want that. Also, I'd like to mention, ARCADE1UP is no longer offering the free plexiglass. They are selling it on their website for $16+ plus another, I say $12, $13 for shipping. So it's like you're buying a whole new plexiglass for $20-something. I don't understand why they're doing it like that. It should give you free shipping since it didn't come with my cabinet. But yes, they're not offering it for free, so I may have to either order another. I may have to order a plexiglass for this through ARCADE1UP, or see if I can get a third-party company to sell me a plexiglass in this shape. You know, less expensive. But let's stop the video for now while I set up, and we'll get started on the hose. Okay, so I removed the on and off switch and the volume control switch off completely out. Okay, so we're gonna start using a drill and step bit drill. Like I said, you can get this at Harbor Freight. Alright, you're gonna work your way down. I got everything on a garbage can right here so it can catch all the wood chips and the dust. So we're gonna start slowly. Let's start with the on and off switch. Let's go with that one. I'm probably gonna dance a little because I don't have no center there. So let's see how this works out. See if we can do this without breaking anything. Okay. There you go. There you go. Alright, see? Nice clean hole. When you start with the graphics first, you get a nice clean hole. You want to go down a little. As far as you can. Stop right there. Now flip it over. Let the garbage can catch the dirt. And let's see how it goes this way. Okay. Nothing. You want to take your time with these holes. These holes are already there. You don't want to go crazy. Let's get a button to test it out to see how much we got left. I think we need more. Let's go down a little more. Okay. Flip it over. Let's see how much we got there. I think we're good. I think it's gonna go. Oh, look, a little bit more. Just another step down, and I think we're good. I think that one will do it. Let's see. Yep, perfect. Look at that. Okay, we're not going to actually put the two-player button there, but we are testing it out to see how it fits, and it's perfect. Okay. Straighten that off. Okay. Nice little... Oh. Let's start with the next one. The volume control. Like I said, we didn't need those switches. Just make the holes there, and that's it. It looks a little scary. That might be a little intimidating, but as long as you take your time, everything will come out good. Okay, let's try the other side. Okay, I don't think you need too much on the back side. Let's test it out. I think we need a little bit more. Yeah, we need a little bit more. Do a little bit more on the back side. Probably one drop more. Okay. Flip it. We'll do this side. There you go. That's a good hit. I think it's good on that side. Oh, yes. Hit it one more side on the back. Then I think you're golden. There you go. I think you're golden. There you go. And it dropped in just fine. Now I do have a little bit of concern on the bolt part of the button going in, holding on the other side. So if I may have to fill this in with some wood, I will. But I don't think so. Maybe I could get like a little thick piece of plate there or something to hold it in place. Let's just test it out for now. Like I said, let's test this out. Let's put this in there, see what happens. Probably won't even need any of that. I think the nut is wide enough. Oh yes. Oh yes, look at that, even perfect. I think that's perfect, guys. I think so. I think that's wonderful. Look at that. That's perfect. That's golden right there. Let's zoom into that so you can see that. Come on, guys. Come on, camera. Look at that. That's golden. Where are we at? Right here. Look at that. I think that's golden right there. Okay? Like I said, it won't be crooked and upside down like that. But at least we tested out and we know it fits wonderfully. Okay. And zoom away. And I think we're done with these two holes right there. I think it's ready to go. We're ready to put the buttons in. Alright. Ready to put the buttons in and the controllers. Again, like I said before, ARCADE1UP is not providing the free plexiglass. Even though this cabinet did not come with a plexiglass, I'm still going to order it, or either order it or have a third party. If you know of a third party out there that offers plexiglass with the same cutouts as the original Street Fighter cabinet, please leave it in the comment down in the bottom, and I'll get a hold of them. But we're gonna put in the controls, the buttons, and I think we'll take it from there. Okay, so we cut out the hole for the hotkey button, which we will make L2. We got the player 1, L1, R1, A, B, C, and D. This is another reason why I like these buttons. They got letters on them, and they too do not rotate or turn when you're pressing them. So let's begin by putting these buttons in one by one. Okay, let's put them aside for now in the order that we need to do it. And start with the player 1 button. Now, my OCD tells me that I should have the connection for player 1 side on the connection on the left side, for the simple fact that when everything falls into place, I want it all to unite, all the wires to unite in the middle, making it easy and not so cluttered all over the place. So if your button, when you put your button the right side up on the front, and your connection is not on the left side for player 1, you can remove the top and switch it, and then put it back on, and it will fall in the right place. I'll show you that when we come up to a button like that. But this is player 1 button for player 1 on the left side when you flip the box over. Okay, let's make sure it's nice and straight. Loosen it up a little. There you go. Nice tight fit. Now I purchased this big socket at Harbor Freight as well. It was like about $3. It helps me grab the nut for the button a little better, so I could give it a nice tight fit. I don't want it to move later on, you know, unnecessarily. So it gives me a nice fit. I hold it, just give it a light tight fit, and that's it. It's also helps to take them off, because after a while, you know, your fingers can't grip it so well. But that's a nice tight fit there. All right, what did I say for the hotkey will be L2. L2, put that in there. Flip it over. Again, the connection falls on the left side. That's where we want it. Okay. Make sure it's evened out. Nice and even. Tighten it as best as you can with your fingers. Tighten it as best as you can with your fingers. And use your socket. I use my, use the socket to give it a nice tighter fit. There we go, till I can't move it too much, and it's good to go. Let's move up a little more. Okay, now you can see better. Let me zoom us in a little. Alright, so we got the L2 and the player 1 in. Now let's do the letters. We got A and B, we'll go here. A and B, C and D. Alright. A. Okay, so here's our first one. Like I said, you want to have your connection land on the left side. This one landed on the right side, so what we need to do is take the button out. Okay, and we take like a little small screwdriver, and you got the little connections here on the button. Let me zoom you in. Okay, the little connection right here. You're gonna take a. I use this little small screwdriver. Lightly pry it out, push up, and the button should come off, just so. Okay, you don't have to do nothing much but rotate and push in. Squeeze them in and push in, and you'll hear it snap. And there you go. You're in. Now let's check it again. Put it on the other side. Make sure it's lined up right. Yes, it is. It's in the right thing. Let me zoom out. What is it with the control? Here we go. Let's zoom out. Alright, your A is perfect now. And your connection is on the left side the way we want it. You're going to just tighten it up. Okay, it's lined up right. You want to tighten it up. Make sure your letter's not crooked. Okay, tighten it up. That's it, not too tight. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna screw in the new joysticks, and like I said before, what I've noticed with the newer cabinets, ARCADE1UP must have used Sanwa clone joysticks, because these actually match up as the same as the old ones, so I don't have to do any new holes or anything like that. I could just go by using the new holes, the same holes with the same hardware. I like to start by screwing in the middle ones first, top and bottom, not tight all the way, just get them in there, and then we work our way around to get the rest in. It helps to have a magnetized tip screwdriver so that you can put these in its place. Okay, see what's going on here. Alright, perfect. Curious to know why that did that. Alright, let's do the other ones. Maybe, no, same thing. I think I'm going to use, let's pause this for a second, check something out. Okay, so I ran into a little problem. I was realizing that the holes again for the original joysticks were not matching with the new joysticks that I had to put in. So what I did, as a simple fix, just replace the plates. It's very simple. Just take out the 4 screws on the original controls. This is the original. Okay, take out the 4 screws. Alright, there's 4 screws under the dust washer. Take out the ball, take out the dust washer, remove the 4 screws from the old control, take out the plate. This is the original plate for the old control, and put it on the new control, and everything will line up just fine. Okay, so now we take the old control, we could actually match it up exactly to where the glue was. Okay, and all the holes should match up just perfectly. There you go. Now we take the original screws for the controllers, and again, like I said, start with the middle. Start with the middle screw first, work your way down to the bottom one, and then do the 4 corners. Don't tighten it all the way, just do the 2 middle ones first till you got it perfect. That's all. Okay, we got that in. Got the dust washer and the joystick ball. I'll probably convince my daughter to go with a bat top. Maybe not. Let's see how she likes it. I think she likes the fact that the ball is pinkish, not full-blown red. But there you go. And that is clear one side, ready to go. What you want to do is also take a flat screwdriver. I think we'll leave it, well, we'll leave it like that for now, but you can take a flat screwdriver and hold it on this side and tighten the ball a little, because as you do play, the ball loosens up. But we do that later on, because I still got to get the plexiglass for this, and to put the plexiglass you need to remove the ball, so we'll leave it like that for now. Now I'm going to speed this part of the video up, do player 2, and we'll get back to the next project. Okay, so I completed both sides. Again, I also had to replace the plate for the player 2 joystick. Looks like my number 2 button is a little crooked. I gotta fix that. But on the other side, you can see now what I did was for player 2, I did the opposite. I put the connections in the inside. I left the joysticks the same way, like I said before. They have to be facing the same direction when you put these on, because when you program them, they need to be in, both have to be the same, or for some reason they're out of whack when you program it. But for the buttons, they can be, well, they have to be read the right way, but these connections have to be in the inside part of the controller board. Makes it easier, brings all the wirings closer together and easier to connect. Again, like I said, for the player 2, the connections are on the inside part. It's going to bring the wires closer together in the middle with the controller board, with the USB board actually, and everything will be more nicer and neater. I just got to fix that player 2 and that L2 button. They seem to be a little crooked, all of them, a little bit off, but I will fix that. But you can see what it looks like. Looks way better, nice coloring when it's all lit up, because these are all LED buttons. They will light up once you connect it to the Pi. And we still have to do the speaker. I will upgrade the speaker. I'll show you that next. And have to put some soldering in that for some wiring, but I'll show you everything up. Okay, so like I said before, we were going to change out the stock speaker for this control board, the controller board. I removed the original stock speaker, and I purchased this Bose 50 watt 4-inch speaker off of eBay for like 12 bucks, free shipping. It's not a bad speaker. I like the way it sounds. It fits perfectly in the position of the old stock speaker. Okay, what you want to do is put it in the position where the connector is again on your same direction as your buttons. Okay, what I plan to do is use this female to male connection cable, which I also purchased on Amazon. Everything that I used will be in links at the bottom under the video. What this does is it gives me an easy access to disconnect or connect whenever, just in case I have to take the ARCADE1UP cabinet apart. I don't have no problems. What we want to do is we're going to solder one end to the speaker and tin the other end to go into the amp. We're not going to solder it to the amp. We're just going to give it some more play and add some more solder. Okay, so let's remove this out the way for now. Let's clean up this area. Okay, what you want to do is, I got my trusty soldering iron. We're going to get some solder. I'm not one to brag, but my soldering skills are phenomenal. Okay, my soldering skills are amazing. I'm good at it. Let me get some wire strippers. Again, this is a Bose speaker, 50 watts, 4 ohms, 4 inches. Fits perfectly into the control panel. Okay. What we're gonna do is, I'm gonna take the female side. No, I'm gonna take the male side. That's what I'll take. The male side, and we're gonna solder it to the speaker. We're gonna split it a little more, give it some more play. There you go, give it some more solder. go. Give me some more wiring, I mean. Not solder. Wiring. I'm gonna use some old flux. This is old. This is back in the day Radio Shack old. But it's still good. I still use it. I like to heat it up a little, get it nice and watery with the iron gun. Just to get it a little liquidy. Clean off the tip. Also helps the gun wire that up a little. So I'll take the ends and I'll dip it in the liquid and the flux. So it has a little bit. It helps the solder run a little better onto the thing. Now we're gonna pour some. We're gonna solder some solder onto the speaker so we can make a nice little connection pool. Just enough so that it close up the hole. There you go. Seals up that hole. And then we do again with the other side. Just get enough on there. Yeah, we're gonna have problems with the magnet, but it'll, once we get enough on there, we're good. Oh, come on. There you go. Close it up. See? Closed up both holes. I don't know if you can see that. Closed up both holes. Now we're gonna get the we're gonna put the red on the positive side, which is on my right, and the black on the negative. We're just gonna make that solder soft enough so I could push the wiring in from the other side. And that's it. And let's let it dry. There you go. And again on the positive side. There you go. Let it dry up. Boom. Like I said, I'm not one to brag, but I am phenomenal when it comes to soldering. I am so good at it. Okay. Just gonna move it up a little more on the negative wire. Bend it out. We're gonna take that little bit and clip that off, the leftover off. Okay, perfect. Just throw some more flux on there. More solder, I mean. I keep getting it confused. Alright. Much neater. Much better. Okay. We'll just take a little bit of, move this up a little. That's it. Take a pair of clippers and just cut those extra off. And then we're good to go. There you go. It's perfect. Nicely in there. Okay, now we're good. So now we have that done. Now for the female side of the connection, what we're going to do is we're going to strip this a little so we can get a little more cable out of it, a little more wire out of it, like so. This time we're going to spin it so that it stays tight together. Let me dip that in there, see if it's still wet enough. No, should be good. Do the other side. There you go. Got a little more wiring out of that. We're going to put a little bit of solder on the end of these so that it will hold more solder. Okay. So we're gonna, let's put it on something we can lean on right now. And just throw some solder on there. Make it tight. Nice clear coat. I think that's it. That's all we need. We just need enough to put that wire in a single strand right there, like that. Nothing too major. Okay? Nothing too major. Nice single strand. Solid. Go perfectly into the amp. Okay, so what I did was I soldered the male end of the connector to the speaker, and I got the original screen that was on with the original speaker. Now this is a 4-inch speaker. It has its own little tweeter in there too, but it sounds great. I like the way it sounds. You don't need nothing crazy. I mean, I overdid it on my first cabinet, but this one is simple. You don't need to go nuts. So you want to take the original screws and the screen, line it up, screw these on there. You don't need to go all the way tight on this either, just enough so it holds it in place. I like to do one end and then the other, like one corner and then the other corner. Okay, that clicking you hearing is the controls on the other side. Let's line this up right there. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Let's put that one in. Got it. There you go. This side. Okay, that's it. You got your speaker in. Perfect. It's a little more weight on there, but that's your Bose speaker. We'll hear it later on. Once we connect everything up, you got your controller board all done. Now to work on the panel for the amp and the other 4 buttons, leftover buttons. So we're going to use these buttons right here as your hotkey buttons. You got your regular motion buttons, and on the panel with the amplifier, we'll have the other set of buttons. I'll tell you what those are when we're done. Okay, see you in the next one.